Sigma have another beautiful art lens for us to check out. This is the Sigma 35mm f1.2 DG Mark II. This is the follow-up to the original 35mm f1.2, which is such a versatile lens. I mean, 35mm around a full-frame camera, which in this case, this is for Sony E-mount and for L-mount as well, already has so many uses, right? 35mm is such a versatile focal length that photographers all over the world, and of course videographers, use for all kinds of different things. And with an f1.2 aperture, that means that not only can you let in a huge amount of light, which again makes this great in all kinds of different situations, whether that's weddings, events, or outside shooting later into the evening, but you can also get some wonderful separation between subject and background, something which is very, very useful on a 35mm lens like this. Now, this replaces the Mark I version of the lens. It's smaller, it's lighter, it has improved optics and autofocus, so just all round, this is a better lens. And immediately, when I started using this, it feels better in the hands. I much prefer the size of this. I actually think for an f1.2 lens, this is really quite impressive, the fact that they've got this smaller and lighter. It's still about 755 grams, so it has a little weight to it. But to be fair, it's an f1.2 lens, so I think it was always going to be like that, right? It does make sense that it's still going to have a little bit of weight to it. We still have to obey the laws of physics here. You've got 17 elements throughout the lens as well, and honestly, the optics here are just fantastic. It is an absolutely beautiful bit of glass. It's an art lens, so I'm not overly surprised by that, but you have fantastic sharpness right throughout that aperture range that you can play around with. So even wide open, it stays sharp right through to around f16, which is where you start to get a little bit of diffraction, but it just looks fantastic. Something that I think is common now with these art lenses. They're just optically superb. The bokeh is lovely as well. We see some beautiful separation here between subject and background, something which I think on a 35mm lens is actually so useful to be able to achieve. And you've got a lovely soft fall off, which is so pleasing to the eye. That means that if you want to use this for portraiture, you're absolutely going to be able to get that slightly dreamy look with this lens, which I love. I absolutely love that. It's also very impressive that Sigma seem to have paid quite a lot of attention to making the image very correct within the lens. So I didn't really see any distortion at all. There's a little bit of vignetting when you're shooting wide open, but to be fair, again, at f1.2, I would expect that a little bit. This is so easy to correct as well in camera, or if you really want to, when you actually come to edit the image, but not something I would ever really worry about. And actually, it maybe just adds a little bit of character to your images. The autofocus is also very impressive. It's super fast, definitely an improvement over the Mark I. It works really well with the a7 IV or the Sony a7R5 as well. Those are the two cameras that I really tested this out with. And even though you're probably not going to be using this for, wildlife or sports photography, it's great to see that it is able to keep up. It's very snappy, very, very quick, and it's incredibly reliable as well. Something which, to be fair, you'd probably expect at this point, especially from a Sigma art lens, but it's still really nice to see. In terms of the design of the lens, I mentioned before that's a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter as well than the previous version of the lens. You've got an aperture ring on the lens as well with a click and a declick option, something I always like to see. I love to have that option there. Otherwise, you've got the AFMF switch, focus hole button, and a nice large manual focus ring if you would prefer to use the lens like that. I think this is a fantastic upgrade from the Mark I. I think this is an easy recommendation for a just an ideal lens to have in your kit bag. 35mm can be used for all kinds of different things, again, for photography and video. So this is just a great option. If you shoot Sony or an L-mount camera, this is such a useful lens to have. With that f1.2 aperture, you are getting such beautiful image quality with amazing versatility as well. Now you can check out the full spec of this lens, everything you want to know, over at parlcameras.com. I'll pop a link down in the description so you can go and check it out for yourself. Otherwise, don't forget to like, subscribe. There's new content all the time. I'll see you in the next video, but until then, as always, thanks for watching.